the hammer and sickle is a communist symbol that was conceived during the Russian Revolution. At the time of creation, the hammer stood for industrial laborers, and the sickle for the peasantry. Combined they stood for the Worker-Peasant Alliance for Socialism and against reactionary movements and foreign intervention. Although never united into one symbol before, the two tools had long been traditional symbols in European heraldry. After the Russian Civil War, the hammer and sickle became more widely used as symbolizing peaceful labor within the Soviet Union and international proletarian unity. It was taken up by many communist movements around the world, some with local variations. Today, even after the dissolution of the Soviet Union, the hammer and sickle remains commonplace in Russia and former Union republics, but its display is prohibited in some other former socialist countries. History. Worker symbolism. Farm and worker instruments and tools have long been used as symbols for proletarians' struggle. A popular ancestor to the hammer and sickle was a hammer on a plough, with the same meaning. In Ireland, the symbol of the plough remains in use and may have shared roots with the hammer and plough. The Starry Plough banner was originally used by the Irish Citizen Army, a socialist, republican movement. James Connolly, co-founder of the Irish Citizen Army with Jack White, said the significance of the banner was that a free Ireland would control its own destiny from the plough to the stars. A sword is forged into the plough to symbolize the end of war with the establishment of a socialist international. This was unveiled in 1914 and flown by the Irish Citizen Army during the 1916 Easter Rising. Inception. In 1917 Lenin and Lunacharsky held a competition to create a Soviet emblem. The winning design was a hammer and sickle on top of a globe in rays of the sun, surrounded by a wreath of grain, and under a five-pointed star, with the inscription "Proletariat of the World, Unite!" in 6 languages. It originally featured a sword, but Lenin strongly objected, disliking the violent connotations. On 6 July, 1923 the second session of the Central Executive Committee adopted this emblem. Usage in the Soviet Union. The coat of arms of the Soviet Union and the coats of arms of the Soviet republics showed the hammer and sickle, which also appeared on the Red Star badge on the uniform cap of the Red Army uniform and in many other places. Serpyne Molot is the name of the Moscow metallurgical plant. Serpyne Molot is also the name of a stop on the electric railway line from Kursky railway station in Moscow to Gorky, featured in Benedikt Erefiev's novel, Moscow Petrishki. Meaning. At the time of creation the hammer and sickle stood for Worker-Peasant Alliance, with the hammer a traditional symbol of the industrial proletariat, and the sickle a traditional symbol for the peasantry, but the meaning has since broadened to a globally recognizable symbol for Marxism, Marxist parties, or socialist states. In the Soviet Union the hammer and sickle came to take on a gendered meaning, with the sickle coming to be associated with women and the hammer men. Current usage. Post-Soviet states. 2 federal subjects of the post-Soviet Russian Federation use the hammer and sickle in their symbols. The Vladimir Oblast has them on its flag and the Bryansk Oblast has them on its coat of arms, which is also the central element of its flag. In addition, the Russian city of Oryol also uses the hammer and sickle on its flag. The former Soviet national airline, Aeroflot, continues to use the hammer and sickle in its symbol. The separatist government of Transnistria uses the flag and the emblem of the former Moldavian SSR, which include the hammer and sickle. The flag can also be used without the hammer and sickle in some circumstances, for example on Transnistrian-issued license plates. Communist parties. 3 out of the 4 currently ruling communist parties use a hammer and sickle as the party symbol: the Communist Party of China, the Communist Party of Vietnam, and the Lao People's Revolutionary Party. All of these use the yellow-on-red color scheme. In Laos and Vietnam, the hammer and sickle flags, party flags, can often be seen flying side by side with their respective national flags. Many communist parties around the world also use it, including the Communist Party of Greece, Communist Party of Chile, the Egyptian Communist Party, the Communist Party of Spain, the Communist Party of Denmark, the Communist Party of Norway, the Romanian Communist Party, the Lebanese Communist Party, and the Shining Path. The Communist Party of Sweden and the Mexican Communist Party use the hammer and sickle imposed on the red star. The hammer and sickle accompanied by the yellow star is used by the Communist Refoundation Party, the main communist party in Italy. Variations. Many symbols having similar structures and messages to the original have been designed. For example, the Angolan flag shows a segment of a cog, crossed by a machete, and crowned with a socialist star. In the logo of the Communist Party USA, a circle is formed by a half cog and a semicircular sickle blade. A hammer is laid directly over the sickle's handle with the hammer's head at the logo's center. The logo of the Communist Party of Turkey consists of half a cogwheel crossed by a hammer, with a star on the top. Tools represented in other designs include the brush, sickle, and hammer of the Workers' Party of Korea. The spade, flaming torch, and hoe used prior to 1984 by the British Labour Party. The monkey wrench and tomahawk of the Earth First movement. The pickaxe and rifle used in Communist Albania. And the hammer and compasses of the emblem of the East German flag. The Far Eastern Republic of Russia used an anchor crossed over a spade or pickaxe, symbolizing the union of the fishermen and miners. The Fourth International, founded by Trotsky, uses a hammer and sickle symbol on which the number 4 is superimposed. The hammer and sickle in the Fourth International symbol are the opposite of other hammer and sickle symbols in that the head of the hammer is on the right side and the sickle end tip on the left. The Trotskyist League for the Fifth International merges a hammer with the number 5, using the number's lower arch to form the sickle. The Communist Party of Britain uses the hammer and dove symbol. Designed in 1988 by Mikhail Boncher, it is intended to highlight the party's connection to the peace movement. It is usually used in conjunction with the hammer and sickle, and appears on all of the CPB's publications. Some members of the CPB prefer one symbol over the other, although the party's 1994 Congress reaffirmed the hammer and dove's position as the official emblem of the party. Similarly, the Communist Party of Israel uses a dove over the hammer and sickle as its symbol. The flag of the Communist Party of Guadeloupe uses a sickle, turned to look like a majuscule G, to represent Guadeloupe. The flag of the Black Front, founded by Otto Strasser, featured a crossed hammer and sword, symbolizing the unity of the workers and military. The flag of Burma, from 1974 to 2010, featured a bushel of rice superimposed on a cogwheel. The flag of Chama cha Mapinduzi, currently the ruling political party of Tanzania, has a slightly different symbol with a hammer and a hoe gem instead of a sickle to represent the most common farm tool in Africa. The National Bolshevik Party used the hammer and sickle in their flag, but had them colored black instead of yellow and puts in the design of the Nazi swastika flag. A black hammer and sickle inside of a white circle on a red banner. Art. The hammer and sickle has long been a common theme in socialist realism, but has also seen some depiction in non-Marxist popular culture. Andy Warhol, who created many drawings and photographs of the hammer and sickle, is the most famous example of this. Legal status. In several countries in the former Eastern Bloc, there are laws that define the hammer and sickle as the symbol of a totalitarian and criminal ideology, and the public display of the hammer and sickle and other communist symbols such as the Red Star is considered a criminal offense. Georgia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, and Moldova have banned the symbol along with other communist symbols. A similar law was considered in Estonia, but eventually failed in a parliamentary committee. The foreign ministers of Lithuania, Latvia, Bulgaria, Hungary, Romania and the Czech Republic called for an EU-wide ban on communist symbols in 2010, urging the EU to criminalize the approval, denial or belittling of communist crimes, and stating that the denial of such crimes should be treated the same way as the denial of the Holocaust and must be banned by law. In February 2013, the Constitutional Court of Hungary annulled the ban on the use of symbols of fascist and communist dictatorships, including the hammer and sickle, the Red Star and the swastika, saying the ban was too broad and imprecise. The court also pointed to a judgment of the European Court of Human Rights in which Hungary was found guilty of violation of Article 10, the right to freedom of expression. On June 2013, the Constitutional Court of Moldova ruled that the Moldovan Communist Party unregistered trademark S symbols the hammer and sickle illegal and can be used. In Indonesia, The public display of communist symbols like the hammer and sickle is prohibited by decree. Usage: flags, coat of arms, logos. Unicode: in Unicode, the hammer and sickle symbol is U+262D. It is part of the miscellaneous symbols code block. See also: Communist symbolism, red star, red flag, references. External links.